After a week off for the Turbo Truck Series following a very busy doubleheader weekend at Nashville, we are back with just one race this weekend, but I can guarantee you it's going to be a great one for race number 6 of the 1UP Turbo Truck Series in 2024. We are here at the beautiful Hillside Raceway, where the trucks take on this track for the very first time in series history. High-banked 1-mile oval that just eats away at the tires. A perfect place for some strategic battles on and off the track. It's going to be a lot of fun for all 42 drivers and for you as well, I hope. And joining me in the booth to bring you the action once again is Ryan Griffin, the 2022 Turbo Truck Series champion, of course. And, well, this track, it's got a lot of characteristics of a bunch of other places, but put them all together and it's a whole new place all its own. Great place to bring the trucks for the very first time.
And a lot like the competitors here, this is going to be my first time seeing this track in action, at least from this perspective. And from what I can tell, just from what people have said, it's basically as if you were to take like Bristol and the tire wear Darlington and kind of blend it all into one monster of a facility, and it should be fun to watch today. Yeah, but managing tires are going to be hard, especially when you got people racing hard at tight corners at a mile-length track like this. So it's going to be interesting to see who can manage tires and maintain their track position at the same time.
And never count out the chance of a caution flag here, especially with how fast these trucks go into the corners. They're so high banked here. Never count anything out when we come to Hillside. As we can now bring you the starting lineup for today's 80-lap event. Miles Mashburn, in his first Truck Series start of the season, takes pole position. He's looking to become the very first driver in 1UP history to win in all 3 of our series divisions. He's already got Superstar wins. He's got a Nitro National win. This is the last box he needs to check, and he starts on pole today. DJ Curtis lines up alongside him. A great story as well. The top 10 machine, DJ Curtis. His streak came to an end at Nashville due to an unfortunate slow pit stop, but he should be right in the mix again as well. Gutierrez, Brandon Smith, and Josh Gibson ran at the top 5. But our joint points leaders to start this race, Aguazao starts 12th, Andrew Lyons all the way back in 24th. They've got a lot of work to do to make their way back up to the front here.
Yeah, but there's a reason that they're the point leaders at this point. I'm sure we'll, especially with Zhao and what Zhao's been able to do this season, something tells me he won't stay in that 12th position for long. So I'm expecting by the end of the day they'll be up there more than likely competing for the win. But we'll just have to see how it plays out.
So with that being said, we have 42 trucks ready to take the green flag at Hillside, and we are ready to bring you 80 laps of action. This is the 1UP Turbo Truck Series race number 6 from Hillside in 2024, and the green flag is mere moments away from getting this race underway. Getting set for 80 laps here at Hillside. Pace truck pulls off, and we are immediately into the restart zone. The green flag is out, and we are underway for 80 laps at Hillside. Miles Mashburn gets a great jump off the line, and he looks to bring his teammate Angel Gutierrez with him as the outside line struggles to get forward on this initial start.
I think with this banking on this track that the inside is going to be the preferred lane, and we see it here initially at the start as both first and third are clear, and now 5th place is trying to move into 3rd. That 5 truck trying to take over the 3rd spot, but instead he's going to fall into 4th in line, and the top 3 are now single file as they come off of turn 2 and down this little back straightaway.
But Miles Mashburn, this is a great start for him. Like I said at the top of the show, he's trying to become the first driver to win races in all 3 of 1UP's divisions. He leads the first 2 laps, but Gutierrez, he wants to get his own first career win, and I'm sure he would stop at nothing to get it, even if it means getting by his team owner in that 6th truck.
I believe, honestly, he'd even have more motivation to beat his team owner, just to say, hey, this is the reason why you hired me, and he really wants to make it be known anyway.
Yes, the top 3 have actually started to pull away from this group back here, led by the 1 of Francois Chastain, who's had a rough start to 2024. Hopefully he can right the ship here, as Janeda in the 46 tries to make a move on Brandon Smith. Smith started in the 4th spot. He has now fallen back to, it looks like, 9th on the road.
And if he started, well, he was the one that had the issue there on the outside at the start. For some reason, did not get as good a start as the inside. And obviously, we see the end result of that, the positions he's lost so far. So hopefully, again, it's still early. We're only lap 5 in this race with the 6 truck out front. As you said, Mashburn trying to make history in the series, win a race in all 3 divisions. And so far, he's definitely starting on the right foot with that out front. He's led every lap so far with his team truck in tow. So he kind of has a little interference to run too, but I'm sure Gutierrez is going to fight for it here at the end. And not to mention, you have Curtis, who's proven time and time again that he can be a front runner. So I don't think it's going to be easy for Mashburn up front here.
And remember, that 6 truck has already been the victory lane this season. J.D. Martin won with it at Auto Club earlier this year. So it looks like we had a spin in turns 3 and 4. There's the culprit, Cameron Lessard in the 0-0, but we did not get a caution for that. Even though the 0-0 is parked up on the side of the track, and it looks like Jacob Miller, winner last time out at Nashville, also involved as well.
Yeah, it's interesting they didn't throw the yellow there because of where the truck was sitting, but everybody has appeared to have gotten away from it has appeared to have pulled away without getting involved in it. So we're clean and green at the moment, as Gutierrez again still trying to challenge his team owner, but he looked like he lost a little bit of ground on that lap, and looks like he might lose second to Curtis here.
So while 2 Robbers Racing trucks are up at the front fighting for the lead, the other 2 struggling so far in this race. Paul Villalobos in the 66 right at the back of the field. Cameron Lessard in the 0-0 going multiple laps down in the pit lane after a spin in the early laps. We will get to a replay of that as the race concludes because we've got so much to keep our eye on, but we will get to a replay of that when the race is concluded. But you notice Gutierrez has fallen back to 3rd, DJ Curtis now up to 2nd, and we've been talking about this 22 truck ever since he got onto the scene in the truck series. We know he's close to getting that win. He's come close a lot in his career. Could this be the day for him?
All you need sometimes is a boost in the arm, just something to go right for you to get that first win. And Curtis, well, maybe this could be the day, as we see the 0-0 slowly making his way back off of pit road here. I believe he's exiting pit road, headed back to the racetrack. So yeah, apparently they are going to try to get back into the race.
But he will be 5 laps down as a result, not what the 0-0 team were hoping for. They started this race deep in the field, and they're probably going to finish it deep in the field with that many laps behind on their day. But you see Jacob Miller in the 83. He won at Nashville, his first career win, but he was involved in that accident as well, and he is very close to falling a lap down himself in that 83 Team Duke machine, while his teammate, Audrey Anzac, who is running double duty this weekend, both the truck and superstar races, so she's getting her weekend off to a good start, currently running P8 as Mashburn continues to lead.
And to go back to the 83 for a second, it shows you the up and down nature of racing, and the fact you could be on a great high one week and the next week, humbled by something that happens. And in this case, the incident on track has humbled that 83 team to now where they're basically tailing Charlie and going a lap down. So it's the nature of it. Sometimes you're on the benefit of it, sometimes you get the break, and sometimes you end up looking all over for that rabbit's foot, not finding one. So it sucks to see it happen, but we've all gone through it, and they'll just have to power their way the best way they can, or power through it the best that they can this week, and hopefully come back stronger next week.
Yep, but for now, he is on the verge of going a lap down, is the 83 in 41st position, and there goes Mashburn to his inside, and there shouldn't really be much of a fight considering the 83 burnt a lot of his tire up in that slide down the back straightaway. So he's going to lose a little time because of that, and he's already been lapped by Mashburn, Curtis, and Gutierrez soon to follow.
Meanwhile, Mashburn has pretty much led every lap to this point. Curtis is trying to get there. So it's not like Curtis and Gutierrez are just saying, hey, you can go lead every lap. They're trying their best to get to him and try to make a move on him. But right now it's been Mashburn just basically maintaining his position at the front.
And here we've got teammates fighting side by side for 4. Samantha Jade to the inside of Francois Chastain. Looks like Jade will be able to take that spot cleanly and move up into the 4th position. these 5 have actually started to gap themselves quite nicely back to 6th place Janeda, and even further back to the battle for 7th between Gibson, Anzac, Alex Sanvitao, and Brandon Smith, who's fallen all the way back to the 10th position now. As it looks like Curtis tries to take a look on the inside of the 6 of Mashburn, but didn't quite have the run out of the corner he was looking for.
He's going to keep making shots at him. Just little moves like that to see if he can find a spot where he's stronger than Mashburn, or Mashburn in this case being weaker than Curtis, so that way he could try to take advantage of it. But the thing for Curtis is you just keep doing what you're doing. I hate to say it, it almost seems repetitive at this point, but you keep doing what you're doing and eventually it'll work out, because he does keep nipping into that gap between himself and Mashburn. Problem is I don't think he's just got enough on that inside versus where Mashburn is running maybe about a lane or two higher on the track than where Curtis is running. So DJ's going to keep trying, and I'm sure he's getting all that encouragement on the radio going after him too.
And we're already a quarter of the way through this race. It really does fly by here at Hillside, especially when you're caution-free for the first quarter. But so far it's been the Mashburn and Curtis show up at the front, because Angel Gutierrez has dropped back to about a second off the lead. He's being held up by that 83 of Jacob Miller, who is a lap down, remember. So a lot... Yeah, Gutierrez is fallen pretty far back, actually, into the clutches of Samantha Jade in the 25. So at this rate, it's going to be between Mashburn and Curtis, unless something crazy happens, which is not out of the realm of possibility, especially at a place like this.
Especially at a place like this where the action happens so fast, something happens in front of you, and somebody's got to check up or let out of the gas. It could be create a fender bender. I mean, we saw that already with that one little incident. So, or what we assume was what happened with that one little incident. So, we could very well see it happen again. It's still, we're getting close to halfway, and people are going to start trying to push because they know we're halfway through the race and we don't have much time left to get positioned. So there could be another incident later in this race if they're not careful right now.
Certainly could be possible as Curtis tries again on Mashburn. He's riding the tailgate of that 6, pushing him off in the turn 1, less than a tenth of a second separating the 2 leaders. But they are putting on a great show. Even though there hasn't been a pass for the lead yet, I would expect there to be one relatively soon, because that 22, I think, is a little bit faster. Just can't find a way past at the moment. Oh, he's taking a look, though, on the bottom, but he's got that tight exit.
That was the best kind of exit he could have had, but the problem is he lost momentum on the inside and the 6 stayed ahead. But Curtis, nobody can't say he isn't trying. I mean, we obviously are seeing it that he's putting the effort forth. It's just so far they haven't seen that end result yet. I think it may take a mistake out of that 6 truck to give Curtis enough to be able to actually get the lead from them.
But Mashburn has led all 27 laps so far. This is his first start of the season in the Truck Series. He's actually swept the poles for the two races here that he has entered in. We'll see how he does in the Superstar race on Sunday. But for right now, he's doing a pretty good job here in this truck race. He's led all 28 laps, kept ahead of DJ Curtis. But that 22, we've seen it time and time again. He's only finished out of the top 10 twice in his career so far. And I would expect him to get another one at least here today.
Yeah, I know the competitor that was in Curtis, so I can tell you that he was definitely full bore trying to see what he can do. As we take a look through the rest of the latter half of the top 10 here, and those looking on the outside looking in the top 10.
Yeah, and one of those trucks being Justin Henley in his 51, making a return to the series after a brief attempt at the Superstar schedule. He's gone down the trucks with Crown Ultra Racing, and he's doing a good job. He started in the top 20. He's up to 12th, I believe. That's a really good run for that equipment. He's hanging on to that spot, challenging for a spot in the top 10, but the back half of this top 10 is already 6 seconds behind this Fast 5 out front. And Curtis again tries to look on the inside.
He keeps trying. It's just a matter of he's just not got enough momentum basically from the center off of the corner. That's where I think Mashburn is holding him off. Running a little bit higher lane, he's able to carry the momentum coming off. and it's keeping him just enough ahead of Curtis to where Curtis can't complete the pass. So it's, again, Curtis is trying. I mean, he's not. It's not like he's just giving up. He's taking what the track and truck had given him, and he's just trying to make the best of it right now.
Yeah, and so far he's hanging on to second. He's gaining and losing about equal amounts of time per lap. So he's keeping Mashburn in sight. The problem is, as the tires start to wear, you'll lose more and more opportunities. I tell you what he can do, though, is what if this race goes green long enough and we get into the realm of green flag pit stops, he could try undercutting the 6, because this is the strongest undercut of the season. And here we go. We got one trying it now. One of the back markers, Logan Jones in the 84.
And that's gonna be the gauge too, and I'm sure all the teams are watching this 84 as well to see what this 84 does on when he gets the fresh tires, what kind of time he makes up. Granted, yes, it's a back marker, but you can still see how much time they gain and whether or not
he's gonna gain a lot.
The move you wanna also consider.
He's gonna gain at least 3 to 4 seconds per lap on those fresh tires, so these guys cannot wait very long before they pull into the pit lane. I know he came in from outside the top 30, but he could probably gain 20 spots with just a couple laps, fresher tires on him.
He's going to try another run there off of 4. I don't know if it's really going to get him anything, but he definitely tried to get himself a run there.
And here comes another truck into the pits, Duke Ansack in the 11 this week for Crossroads Racing, and he was running just inside the top 20, so he might gain a lot of time doing this. But he and the 84 both need this cycle to complete itself under green, because if we get a caution before the cycle completes itself, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but they almost hit. At least in the case of the 84, you really had nothing to lose but to try something different. You know, if you don't do something to the leader different from the leaders, you're basically going to follow as leaders the entire day. So.
Yep.
A little bit of a short pit strategy, you know, we'll see how it plays out, but you got to do something different. You can't just follow the leaders.
Absolutely, yeah. It was worth it for the 84, and I would argue even for the 11, because he was running just inside the top 20 at that rate. He needed to get up to the front. Of course, his only ever start this season resulted in a second place at Auto Club, but yeah, he needed to try something different. He has done so, and I would expect a few more trucks to make the trip down the pit road in a moment. But we're closing in as well on lap traffic. I would expect these guys to want to pit before they get to that point, because you don't want to be stuck behind the traffic for too long as Mashburn into the wall off of 2. This could be the break Curtis was looking for.
Yeah, I think Curtis just kept the pressure on him enough that the 6 just made one little hiccup there out of 2. And I know we still got a pit stop to go here, but that may have been all the opening that Curtis needed.
And we got trouble. We got trouble in turn 1. 2 trucks on the apron. Derek Hamill, Johnny DiLorenzo into the wall. Caution flies for the first time. That is really going to hurt Duke Ansack and Logan Jones, who had both made pit stops.
Yeah, we got some trucks on pit road too, even as the yellow came out.
One of them being our joint points leader, Aguo Zhao in the 98. That's going to trap him a lap or 2 down as well. We saw a few other trucks in the pits as well. The 46 of Janeda was having a really strong run. Now he's going to be trapped a lap or 2 down as well. I'll tell you what this is going to do. It's going to give Jacob Miller the free pass, so he will get back on the lead lap as a result of his caution. But what this will also do is it'll allow everybody else to make their pit stops under the yellow flag. So as we expected, Jacob Miller does get the free pass under this caution. DJ Curtis actually gained quite a bit of time on the pit lane entry, so he's going to have quite a big margin to work with over Miles Mashburn in the 6th. We'll see how that shakes out in just a moment as the field makes its way now on the pit road. We will see. Race off pit road is going to be quite important, because you don't know whether there's going to be another one. Ooh, Chastain's going to be a bold one. 2 tires for the 1.
Yes, I figure somebody might try it. I don't know if it's going to be the right strategy, but somebody was going to try it. Somebody back in the pack did.
And Chastain was running in 5th position when this caution came out, so this is going to be interesting to see if that pays off for him or not, as we're going to get you a replay of what happened to DiLorenzo and Hamill to bring out caution here at Hillside. Yeah, so it looks like the 84 was going well past. Janeda came on the pit, but the 59, the engine lets go in the 59.
Engine let go.
Yeah, he didn't really have a chance to avoid much trouble there. He's just trying to get out of the way, but then he gets hit by the 80 of Napoli, making his first start of the season, and then Di Lorenzo nowhere to go in the 27.
It's unfortunate for the two that were involved, the 27 and the I'm sorry, I didn't get the number, the blue
80,
truck.
80, Ignacio Napoli.
But yeah, it's just engine grenaded in the wrong spot for everybody else to try to avoid him, and it's not like he could have done anything differently once the engine grenaded. I mean, he was pretty much, he had to hold his line with that pack coming behind him.
But that puts us under the caution, although we are going to go back racing here in a lap's time. DJ Curtis files out in second position. Miles Mashburn, though, had a very slow stop on that 6 truck. He has fallen from second on the road to completely out of the top 10 with that.
Yeah, man, you can't be making mistakes on pit stops, especially with what could be the only stop of this race.
Yeah, and he is going to really not be happy about that one. Is Miles Mashburn, but he's still got a shot at this. If he can slice his way through the field as well as he's been running. But it's going to be Francois Chastain's second truck in line, because of course Janeda's on the tail end of the lead lap. Chastain's the leader. He took 2 tires. Then everybody behind him took 4. This could be an ugly-looking restart as a result.
What's going to make this even worse is the lap trucks to the inside. So Curtis is going to have to try his best. There he goes. He's going to get to the inside as soon as he can, and sure enough, there he goes, just around Chastain. I hate to say it for the rest of the field, but as strong as we saw that 22 earlier, now he's on 4 fresh tires and clean air out front.
Yeah, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news for this 80 truck as well. As Chastain pulls into pit, his strategy did not pay off for that 1 truck. I hate to break it to this 80 truck, but I think the officials are about to pull him in for minimum speed violation on the 80, and that's a shame for him. He was making his first start in 1-up since the Superstar Daytona 500, and now he is going to be out of this race. So they waited for him to get passed by everybody else, and now they call him into the pits. Napoli in the 80, that's a tough break, because he's been looking forward to this race for a while, making his first start in the Truck Series, but he's going to be done. And Jacob Miller comes out of the pits as well. He had just gotten the free pass, but they found something on that truck they didn't like, because now he is back off the lead lap.
Take a look back here at the front. Curtis, again, pretty much in control of this race, although we have a new runner in second place.
Yeah, that's Audrey Anzac in the 3.
And I believe that's Jade in the 25 there in third as well. So the order's kind of changed a little up here from, I mean, we knew Curtis was here, but there's some other guys here, players, that could have a say in the outcome of this thing.
And we have never had a woman win a 1-up Turbo Truck Series race, and they are currently running second and third in position to deny DJ Curtis once again, but they got to catch him first, and that gap just keeps getting bigger all the time. It is now 0.6 of a second as he goes to put Duke Anzac a lap down.
Yeah, I really think when I pretty much said it when Curtis got the lead on the restart from Chastain, and I think pretty much that the Curtis might have this race in hand with as good a truck as he's shown. Again, as we've seen in these races in the past, anything can happen at any given time. So
as you see, Gutierrez
can't necessarily get to him yet.
Yeah, Gutierrez now making a pass on Brandon Smith. Smith made his way back up to the top 5 on pit stops, but he will fall back to 5th because Gutierrez got past him. And now we'll see if Duke Anzac tries to help his sister out by holding up everyone behind her. So at the moment, he's kind of a stopgap because Curtis is extending his lead thanks to the 11. But we'll see if there's a little bit of gamesmanship going on between the 11 and the 3 on track.
Well, we'll see. Curtis again just trying to give the field a goodbye look, as we say, and trying to see if he can put this one away. Granted, we still have 36 laps to go when we get to the line, so still a good chunk of racing left. So you gotta be careful, manage your stuff, especially with what we see with tire wear. You still gotta manage your stuff in case in the event that we ultimately have a late yellow.
And we're into the final 25 laps now, so Curtis has got a little more breathing space to work with. He's got about a half-second advantage, and he does have Duke Anzac as a buffer in between himself and Audrey Anzac, who is his main challenger for the win at this point. So you never know what could happen, but for right now, Curtis, he's trying to get a second buffer by putting Janeda a lap down.
The more trucks he can put between himself and his competition behind him, the better.
Absolutely, yeah. He needs this. He needs to put as many trucks in between himself and Audrey because you never know what speed that 3 has been hiding. Audrey's been running at the back end of the top 10 most of the day, and now she's in second place looking to try and get her first win in the Truck Series. So, matter of fact, we actually have the top 4 all looking for their first career wins in the Truck Series. So, the odds are good, but never tell us the odds here in the Truck Series.
Never tell us the odds. And I should know that more than anybody else as far as winning the championship of this series. But, this will be interesting because I honestly think the best driver I've seen in this series, up-and-coming driver in this series, has got to be the driver behind this wheel, this 22. And I said before going into the season, I thought it was a matter of time before he won one. And he's put himself in a really good position here. It's just going to be a matter of whether or not they can close it out here with what will be basically 21 to go at the line.
Yeah, and this Fingai Saitomi team, they've had a rough go of it in the other series. Of course, they have Jeffrey Fingai running for a championship in the Superstar Series, but it's been a tough go. They have won in the Truck Series this season already. Brian Grigsby delivered for them at Nashville. As you see Anzac go up the track, she's going to lose the second position to Samantha Jade in the 25 and may even lose third to Gutierrez.
Gutierrez obviously trying to recover a little bit from losing a little bit of track position himself, so he's been trying to charge his way back up, get back into this fight, and looks like he's going to retake the podium position and see if he can try to go after Jade for second.
And that would be a career best result for Gutierrez if he can get past the 25. But the gap between Curtis and the chasing pack is now over a full second, and with 19 laps to go now, that it just continues to grow. It's up to 1.4 seconds now. It's gonna take a lot, but don't count it in his favor just yet, because we have Jade, we have Gutierrez, Brandon Smith. They're all racing hard for the win. Don't count anything out just yet.
Let's just say we've been here before. We've seen where it looks like somebody is pretty much gone, and a late caution or an incident occurs that changes the eventual outcome of the race. So that's why we say it's not over until the checkered flag falls.
Yeah, we saw it last week in the Nitro National Series at Martinsville. We saw a crash take out the longtime race leader and hand a different driver their first career win. So never say never in one-up competition. Although, as much as I say that, DJ Curtis has extended his lead now to 1.5 seconds as we come to 16 laps to go.
Yeah, and to kind of go back, I think you started to make the point of it till we noticed the 3 was sliding back, but the FPM race team is just... they've had a recent run of bad luck. Of course, I speak of this... I speak from current experience, being the current driver of the National Series for them and the rough stretch we've had. But I know one thing: there's fire in the belly of every competitor that drives for that team. None more so than DJ Curtis, and a guy who's definitely proven, at least in this series and his limited starts, that he has the capability to go out there and win. Nobody on that grid wants to win more than he does. And if you need something, again, I said it last year when we were watching, Kev Shear and the team and his group, and all it takes is one. All it takes is one to open those floodgates. And for Curtis, I think it's just a matter of time. Even if let's say, God forbid, he doesn't pull off the win today, all it takes is one. All it takes is one, and the floodgates will open. And I'm sure a run like today will do that for Curtis. I mean, we could be looking at a possible championship contender too, It's just a matter of all it takes is one race to make that statement, make that mark, and say, hey, I'm here. Come and get it.
And of course, we're talking about a driver who his first 7 starts at the end of 2023, he got top 10s in all of them. He's hit the first 5 races of this season. He's had 3 top 10s. The only interlopers being a crash at Daytona and an abysmal pit stop at Nashville. In that Nashville race, he was going to get a top 10 finish were it not for that pit stop. So he is the model of consistency in the Truck Series, and when he's able to finish races, he's able to finish them very well.
Yeah, it also goes. Really, the only one you could say that was really their fault was the pit crew at Nashville, because you can't do anything if you're caught up in somebody else's mess at Daytona. It's Daytona. It happens. But it just goes to show just how good that team has been, despite not having a win yet to show for that. But all it takes is one. All it takes is you get everything in place right. 1 week to go your way, and it could be that pulling the pin on the grenade so to say, and say, hey, I'm here. You can't ignore me anymore.
We are now into the final 10 at Hillside, and DJ Curtis's lead is 2.5 seconds over that 25 of Samantha Jade. As we look back, this is a battle for the 5th position. Audrey Anzac and Alex Sanvital, the 43, trying to make a move on Audrey Anzac for the final spot in the top 5. It doesn't quite get it there, but I think that 3 truck's starting to struggle a little bit, as now Gutierrez tries a different line. He's going to try and make a move on the 25, because I think that's going to be a battle for 2nd.
Yeah, I think at this point the race and pretty much the battle is for 2nd, and Gutierrez not let that 25 get away. I think Gutierrez might have a little bit of truck with Jade at this point, and he's trying his best to see if he can get her, but we'll have to see how it plays out there. But again, Curtis continuing to stretch his lead. It's now up over 3 seconds now with 8 to go. So, again, don't want to say anything until the checker falls, and I'm sure that team is not counting their chickens before they hatch, but it looks pretty much like G.J. Curtis, if maybe going on, maybe on his way to his maiden win, and I guess you could almost say dominating fashion with the lead he's stretched out, but we'll have to wait and see.
And it's gotten to the point now where he's got to be hearing noises in that truck. He's got to be thinking about things that could go wrong, because that's just what every driver feels when they've got a big lead and it's coming up on the end of the race and you've got a massive advantage. You're just thinking of what could possibly go wrong, because it very well could.
And not to mention, we've seen instances of that happening where a driver will be out there leading by a significant margin in the closing laps of the race, and something does go wrong. We saw it. I very vividly remember my first race here in the commentary booth, which was a Superstar race at Bristol, in which the leader got caught up in a wreck in the closing laps of the race, and actually basically eventually what ended up being the win to the 3rd place car. So you really have to be on the edge of your seat just in case, because you never know what could happen. That's why, Jade and Gutierrez, even though they're over 3.6 seconds behind the lead, are still fighting as if they'd have a shot to win this, because you never know.
And here comes Gutierrez to the outside of Samantha Jade. She got held up by the 83 of Miller, and that's going to allow Gutierrez to take the long route around the outside, get past both the 25 and the 83. The question now is, can the 72 clear Jacob Miller? Because if he can, that's going to be a very solid 2nd place for Angel Gutierrez, as we now have 3 laps to go.
3 laps to go, and Gutierrez is going to clear the lap truck, so that'll move him not only to 2nd place, but give him a lap truck as a buffer between him and Jade. So Gutierrez looks like he may claim the runner-up spot here today.
And that would be a career best for him as well. So strong stuff as we come to 2 to go for DJ Curtis, whose lead is now 4.5 seconds.
Yeah, this is going to be a big win in the FBM camp. I know that. This is especially on the heels of winning one of the 2 doubleheaders at Nashville, and to come in the next Truck Series race and put on a show here with what is, in my opinion, their star driver right now in the Truck Series, DJ Curtis. But This is going to be big for him, and I'm sure he's going to be happy, and I know the owner's going to be happy as well.
Duke Ansack makes a pit stop late. He couldn't quite make it all the way. But for DJ Curtis, it wasn't a matter of if when he joined the Turbo Truck Series. It was a matter of when he would get that first career win. It's right here and right now at Hillside Speedway. It's DJ Curtis leading the rest of the way and getting that first career win at long last by a whopping 3.8 seconds over second place Angel Gutierrez. A fantastic string of runs by this 22. It finally culminates in that maiden win, and Gutierrez, a career best for him as well in the 72 in second. Brandon Smith, he actually got past Samantha Jade on the final lap to take third away from the 25, and it looks like Audrey Anzac also had fallen off quite severely in that 3 truck. She fell out of the top 10, with San Vital taking his first career top 5 in 5th ahead of Ludovic Charette. We didn't talk about him much all day. He comes home 6th. Justin Henley, his first truck race for Crown Ultra Racing, he gets a top 10 for them. That's their best result in a long time. And Miles Mashburn did make it up to 8th, but what could have been for him in his bid to become the first all-around winner. Justin Whitmer comes home 9th, and Brian Grigsby bookends the top 10 for Fingai Saitomi as we get you a replay of that. So here's where Cameron Lessard was running at the very beginning of the race. He looks like he gets stuck behind the 86, gets turned, and that's where Jacob Miller got involved as well. 2 trucks spinning down to the inside of the track. I'm not sure, because it looks like Lessard's able to carry on. Oh, but then he gets hit by the 83 and then beaches himself on the banking.
Yeah, he's lucky because where he spun, he almost caught that opening that was jetting out. So very lucky that the truck spun further away from that opening and he just slightly backed into it.
But that's a tough break for Cameron Lessard. He was on pace to have a pretty good day today up until that point. But what a drive from DJ Curtis today. That is going to be something, that's going to be a shot in the arm, like you said, for the Fingai Saitomi team that hopefully will carry over into their other programs as well. But that's going to do it for us from Hillside. Next race is going to be at Phoenix Raceway in 1 week's time. It's a weekend. The superstars will take the week off, and the lower series drivers will get their chance to shine out in the desert at Phoenix. We hope you'll join us for that as well. So, from Ryan Griffin and from myself as well, we say goodbye from Hillside. We'll see you again next week at Phoenix. But this has been a long time coming for DJ Curtis and for Fingai Saitomi Motorsports. Curtis's first career win in one-up competition, and it comes in very commanding style here on the high banks of Hillside.